my breathing. It's so nice, it's like a blanket on my life.
Hey, this is the 3-Minute Book Club, and I appreciate that you join me. Our thing here is if you enjoy a thing, if you want to take some time to just sort of have the pace of life slow down, read a book. I've been working my way here through my top shelf, so these are my favorite books. Just because they're my favorite books doesn't mean they would be yours. But you know, I don't know if I'm going to make recommendations to people, this is the shelf I would start off of probably. And so I'm just working my way down through it. This is episode 16, and I'll do a few more of the books off of my top shelf. The next one I'll talk about is Gravity's Rainbow by Thomas Pynchon. Thomas Pynchon is like this postmodern reader who lives a really secluded life and writes these really complex books. They're hard to read, they're hard to follow. Gravity's Rainbow might have been the first of his that I read because so many people were like, this is a great book. To be honest, I had to listen to it on audio and read it at the same time. I had to play an audiobook while reading it because it was just hard to follow. Worth it. It's about sort of the randomness of life, and the book therefore is very random. And it's ostensibly about V2 rockets and living in England in sort of the closing days of World War II, and these German rockets after the war was already basically kind of decided, falling on people and the randomness of it. And then Gravity's Rainbow has to do with the trajectory of those missiles. You know, the book it's a hard book, but if you really want to, be adventurous with your reading, there you go. East of Eden by John Steinbeck, which I've talked about in this before. To Kill a Mockingbird, I think To Kill a Mockingbird is probably my favorite book of all time. That's by Harper Lee, and I remember reading that in middle school, and then I've read it, I don't know, a handful of other times other than that. It's a coming-of-age story, female protagonist, and then also about family, and then about bigger cultural issues of race and some other things. To Kill a Mockingbird, I think probably my favorite book of all time, and of course that puts it on my top shelf. I'll do a couple more today. The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. That's been turned into a movie so many times. I think there's a current TV show about it. The Count of Monte Cristo is a sort of rags to riches, in prison, escape, revenge story. It's so well known, and if it's going to be a classic, I went through this period when I first started to get into reading many years ago, where it started by trying to read my way through classics at what used to be called a Borders bookstore. They had this big section of like summer reading classics, and I was like, I've never read so many of those, I'm gonna give it a try. And that's when I really started to fall into reading 15 years ago or more or whatever. One more today is Neil Gaiman, American Gods. I've mentioned that in these before. Neil Gaiman is at this point in some sort of trouble as a person in the world. As an author, he writes a lot of mythology books, and American Gods are about people emigrating to the United States, and then America's gods, like technology, TV, computer, fighting off the old country, old world gods, like the old Norse gods, and people's belief in those waning, and the power of the American gods, and then they're sort of at war with each other. Great book. I think it's been turned into a Showtime series. So there you go, some more top shelf books, and I'll do, a couple more of these until I'm through with this one. All right, so there it is. That's the 3-Minute Book Club. Thanks for joining me. Stay safe, read a lot, and I'll see you soon.